Oh yeah, what did we say about the whole? Does someone else want to start the podcast this week?
Sorry.
What did we say? What? Face is froze like that. That's funny.
I'm not talking to anyone, so my speech has gone out the window.
That made me laugh.
Just talk to myself.
Talking
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What does the words?
What?
What?
What are the words?
What are the words? What did you say? Hello and welcome to From the Top Podcast with me, Tim.
Me, James.
Me, Scarlet.
And hello, I'm Richard.
Hi, Richard.
Richard Davington.
Don't listen to him. He's just being silly.
I'm
So,
David. You know who I am, you stupid pricks.
What the hell? That's totally horrible.
Oh no. Right.
Right, should
Let's
we do it
carry
again?
on then.
Anyway,
No, I may as well leave
on
that. I
to a
kind of
good
like
start. So,
Yeah.
that. Rough and ready.
how's it going, guys?
Not too bad. How are you, Timmy?
I'm not bad, I'll be honest. Got four digestives. No, rich teas. I'm dipping them in chai tea for a change today. Not your
Oh.
average.
tea.
Your average cup
That's
of
not nice.
Did I see you had a cheese string there, Tim?
Yeah, G-string.
I haven't seen a cheese
Yeah.
string for about 10 years.
I'll be honest, they're just plastic, really. But there's something about the texture. It's just like.
Oh my god!
And the texture
Tim
is
just
different if you
devoured an
string it
entire
out a
bowl.
bit like that. It does. It tastes a bit different because there's more surface area of cheese, or if you can call it cheese. Barely, you know. That's what I'm thinking when I'm eating it anyway. That doesn't stop me eating
What
it.
else you got? What else are you eating?
I got a bowl of jelly.
Are you serious?
Yeah, butter jelly, cheese string.
What? That's such a
Jelly
strange
cheese string,
array
jelly
of
cheese string,
things
rich
to
tea
consume.
chai. That's me.
Rich tea, chai tea, a cheese string, and a bowl of jelly.
You got the whole lot. That's me.
That is like it's like the
That
whole
is so
working
fucked
class
up.
to class to high class system in one, isn't it?
I know.
Literally.
It's really weird, but
What a variety.
delicious stuff. It's highly recommended. Anyway, you guys got any snacks?
Unfortunately not, no.
Got the good old
I just had
beer
some
on me.
tea.
Yeah, what kind
Glass
of beer are we
fucking
talking?
water.
It's not a very good one, then. It's world-renowned Budweiser.
Oh,
It does the job, you know.
tasty.
Yeah, it's a pint can at
What-
least, though.
what's-
Oh yeah.
What's your favourite beer, Dav? I should know this. Heineken.
What's my favourite beer?
Yeah.
Is that what you just said?
Are we going to start off every
Yeah, yeah.
podcast talking about alcohol?
Yeah.
That's what
I think this is
people
a
want to
running
hear.
theme.
I think my favourite beer is neck oil, Beavertown.
Sounds lovely.
Adventurous.
Sounds-
Did you say it was
mean-
called neck
yeah, yeah.
oil?
Yeah, the sound, the
Why
name
would you
is.
choose to name your beer neck oil?
It's made by
horrible.
It's made by I think it's one of the sons of one of the Led Zeppelin band.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
is it quite?
I think it's
Metal,
Robert
I
Plant's
don't know,
son. It's Robert Plant's son.
Strange thing to call your son.
What
Neck
is
oil.
neck
Come
oil?
in, neck.
That's
Neck
not
oil.
his name.
That's not his name.
That's the name of the beer, man.
Oh. I didn't hear the first
Come
part. I
in,
just
neck.
heard the neck oil.
Hey, Necky.
Come in,
Beer here,
necky.
necky.
Nexon. Get to the digits.
Neck for sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, it's really windy here.
Oh, same.
Same.
Is it windy there? I can see a tree outside my house, and it's blowing about.
It's going
It's not
crazy.
too bad here.
Man, it's totally windy here.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost like winter weather here.
We've had
Really?
horrendous
Yeah.
rain though last night and the night
Really?
before.
Really? Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't like that.
Was your weather not good yesterday?
Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, it was so nice for me yesterday.
And the day
Oh,
before
yeah,
was
same.
even
Like a
worse.
summer's day.
Yeah, same. Yesterday was amazing. I find it so weird how well, it's not that weird, but the fact that just in one like part of the world, smallish part relatively speaking, like England's pretty small, and how many different types of weather there can be going on in all the same.
It's
time.
insane, man.
Pretty crazy.
It's just very tumultuous, you know.
And
the
how it
nature of
changes
the-
so quickly as well, because most of us experienced like
Yeah.
a really nice day of weather yesterday, and now
Yeah.
today it's completely fucked, and it's gone in the other direction entirely
Yeah.
overnight.
It's all right,
It's
yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
weird.
That's weird.
Opposite way round for you then, Dan.
Yeah.
That's weird because I'm near you, Dav, sort of,
Yeah.
and it's very bad for me.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Mm. Yeah, but
Well,
I
that's
think
how
you
it
get
is.
it before me.
That's probably it, yeah, because I'm right next to the sea.
Yeah.
Although apparently this wind is not the normal southwesterly, which you may hear a lot on the weather. This is actually a northeasterly wind
Oh
coming
shit!
from
I don't know what that means.
Scandinavia.
Oh.
No, I don't
the
really know
homeland.
either, but you know.
Really. Your homeland.
Haven't you had Scandinavian music for your past 2 albums of the episode, Dav?
Yes.
Some Viking
Yeah.
shit.
Shall I name another one this time?
Why not?
God.
Yeah, go on.
I've got so
I
many.
like listening to
No, mate, that was
Renaljord. Renaljord was good fun, good listens.
Scandinavia is great, man.
Yeah.
I used to have Swedish lessons when I went to church.
Yeah,
I
I've
used to
heard
have
about
online
this.
Swedish lessons. Really bought loads of books. And every time, you know, James Burton, he was in the dorm with me at the time, and I would always be having a lesson, and he'd walk in, I'd be like, oh, "Shut up, get out!"
Oh,
God, I
we
was
should shout out
strange.
James and his podcast, actually.
Oh, mate.
Friend of the podcast.
But it's not actually his podcast,
James
it's
Burton.
his brother's, but he appears as a guest sometimes.
well, he appears.
They got it going good,
What's
though.
do you know his brother's name? Yeah, well, we should all join forces one day and
Yeah, we'll have a big orgy.
create a super podcast.
Yes.
Soup podcast.
Yeah.
Super
I
hot.
wonder what's like the biggest amount of people on a podcast.
Good question. About
Yeah,
a
that is a
million.
good question.
That'd be a little bit chaotic.
Yeah. Ugh.
I wonder what
Tim, your bowl is
podcast has
very
like. the
planned.
Tim, I'm
largest
really
amount of listeners.
Worrying about the sound of that bowl.
Yeah, it's so loud.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
because I've got the
It's
noise
very
cancelling on it.
penetrative.
I can't tell that I'm doing it really loudly, so.
It's
Fuck
really
you.
Yeah, but
fucking
your
loud.
microphone
It's
can't.
like
It's quite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'll do it this side. Lots of antics we can get up to that the viewers can't see. Listeners,
Yeah,
I
I
suppose,
know.
word. Not viewers.
Yeah, I swear most of the stuff we
See.
talk about is
Ye-
stuff that the people listening can't see.
Only we can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could narrate all of
Yeah,
it.
that's
but
great.
wonder if-
That's some good
I
podcasting
wonder if-
technique.
Would the listeners like to see our one of our podcasts one day? Maybe not on Skype. That's a bit.
We could
but
do a vodcast.
if we do one in an actual studio. Yeah, exactly.
We could live
What's it
stream
called? Vodcast.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
We could
podcasting.
live
I
stream.
think it's probably called vodcast.
Yeah.
Vodcasting.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I've been on a vodcast. I've
Yeah,
just been. It's just been released like yesterday.
Really?
I was a special
Skype?
guest over Zoom. Yeah.
Ah.
Did you have to
Oh,
screen
sick.
record your
was
screen
it?
and send it to them and then they just...
No, they screen recorded it.
Oh, of
Just had,
course,
like, a
yes.
Podcast session and then they put it on YouTube.
What were you talking about?
Well, it was with this band I played for a couple of times called Lunar Blue, and they're like an indie rock band. And
Sick.
yeah, rock on. And
Yeah,
yeah, they just got me in as a little special guest to do a little sort of podcast interview thing. It was good. It was nice.
I've actually seen so many podcasts popping up around Facebook and stuff.
This is the time for it though. Like
really
so
good,
many
yeah.
people have
Yeah, I
been getting
know.
into it.
People are actually listening to them as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Well, there's nothing
Yeah.
else
What
to
a
do. is there?
rarity.
Ruben Goldmark
Yeah.
said he listened to the whole of our last podcast.
What?
Oh wow.
Well, I'd like to think that most people
Oh, wait.
did.
No,
though.
it wasn't Ruben.
Actually, I tell you what, I was looking at the SoundCloud statistics, and they give you a thing as to when people, stop listening. And actually, there are a fair amount of people. I think it's like, it sounds like a small amount, but 10% of people are listening right until the end.
but
Well,
they
that's
don't
good.
say anything.
That's
not
actually not bad.
Are those people
Yeah,
sending
it's
us
pretty good.
messages, or are they just sort of silently listening to it all and judging us?
Probably the
Uh,
latter.
Probably the latter. Yeah.
Oh, well, take what I can get. Or we can get as a
That-
group.
Yeah.
So, oh. Anyway, yeah.
Only one person commented chicken last time as well. Your friend Scarlet.
I thought that was me.
The high. Oh no, there was another guy.
Oh yeah, the guy who
you know,
messaged you, your mate.
Oh, Andrew.
the High Wycombe guy.
Yeah. Did he comment chicken on YouTube?
He's a cutie.
Yeah, he was like, I think he said loved it, haha chicken.
Oh,
Or
great.
something.
Thanks, Andrew.
He's a
Thanks
goodie.
for listening.
Yeah, good old Andrew. Thanks for
Yeah,
listening.
anyone
Andrew.
that's listening
Hopefully
and you've
still
actually been
listening to
enjoying this, please let us know, because it would be nice to hear your
Yeah.
Yeah, and
any
also what
feedback,
bits you enjoy
actually.
the most, you know?
And what bits you don't like.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
Tell
the
us that
ones
as well.
The
where,
waffling, you know.
where Tim just chats complete shit.
Oh, come on. That's
Those are
what
the best
everyone's
ones.
here for, surely. No,
That's
just
what they
kidding,
pay to see.
Just kidding. We're all in this together. We all have our own input. We all... Yeah. Totally sick.
Yeah. So, in a couple of, I'm just trying to think now. At time of recording, in approximately 15 minutes, Prime Minister Boris Johnson will be giving us an update on lockdown. What's going to happen? We don't know.
15
But
minutes,
if
did
you're
you
listening
say?
to this, you will already know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
Like, yeah, 15
Good
minutes.
deal.
That's 7 p.m.
Weird, eh?
BST. Or
Bit
GMT,
scary.
whatever the fuck you want to call it.
BST.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't think much will change.
It's
to
a
be
weird
honest.
one.
I don't think anything should change
No,
though.
I don't
Really, in
think so either.
reality.
No.
No, I know.
Not at this point.
Not at this point. We're not over the bridge yet.
I mean,
it
I
would be
understand
nice,
the
obviously.
letting people exercise more often, because that's not really a risk if you just keep
Yeah.
social distancing. But who knows what kind of
Yeah,
liberties
and
people
plus-
are going to take because of that. Like, they'll use that as an excuse. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. The thing is, like, people are... it's just... People... And also, to be honest, like, most people are all taking 2 exercises. Well, I think some people are taking 2 exercises a day anyway now. So it should just stay as it is now, because as soon as you start... The very notion of a slight relaxation will then make people go beyond that. And like you say, people will start taking liberties and, like, using it to... I don't know... surreptitiously have barbecues with friends that they shouldn't.
That's been happening a lot though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been happening anyway.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they've already
Did you
relaxed it in a way, because they've put a new slogan up, so it's not like what was it? Stay
Yeah.
home, protect the NHS, save lives. It's now stay alert,
Yeah, and
control the virus, save
Yeah.
lives.
Ah.
Which is
Which is already
is
just
kind of a
hinting
lot
to the
less
public, like,
authoritative.
it's
I think
all
they're
chill
saying
now.
that. I think they're saying that though because they've realised that people aren't just staying home, and they've just got to give in to the people really.
yeah.
That's one
I
thing.
guess so.
Because
But I think
honestly,
it's also people need to know that it's getting better in some sort of way, because otherwise people are going to start going mental.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, how many weeks
That's
has it
so
been now?
true.
7,
It's
8
like-
weeks?
Yeah,
So,
basically 7,
yeah.
8.
Or 9.
Yeah, it's true. It's a fine line between kind of keeping in the rules that need to be there, but also not, like, keeping up the motivation. I'm surprised that this many people have, like, kept it going this long, to be honest. You know, I know some people are, like, starting to not, but, you know, we're alright for a country.
I mean, we are like, are we actually still the worst in Europe, or are we sort of neck and neck with Italy?
I hope we're still the worst.
We're the best.
What, for death toll?
We're the best at the death toll, yeah.
I read it was like Belgium or something that had the highest death toll.
Oh, really?
I might have made that up, but something,
Really?
something
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
you might have.
Something like that. It isn't England.
I think you probably have, Tim.
Poor Belgium.
Wait, not Belgium. What am I talking about?
It's Italy, isn't it, in Europe?
No, I thought it was some random...
Oh, wasn't it a Scandinavian country? And because they didn't put the lockdown in,
Oh, that's
they
Sweden.
wanted to do herd immunity, and then loads of people got it and died.
That's
Fucked
Sweden.
up. I think herd immunity is so fucked, the whole idea of that.
That
As in,
happened in
like-
Sweden,
Yeah,
I
it's
think,
pretty
wasn't
weird.
it?
Oh no, I was wrong, sorry.
Yeah, they
It
tried
is
to, and then it
Italy.
just did not work.
Well, you live and you learn.
Oh,
Nothing to joke about,
I
though.
totally love Italy so much.
It's,
I've only been
oh my God,
once.
it's an amazing country.
Oh man, it is
Oh,
brilliant.
It's just the best.
The language is beautiful as
man.
well. I love
Oh
Italian.
yeah.
I was supposed to be
That's the
going
thing, it's
to
just like-
Rome in the summer
That's so
Oh, nice.
annoying.
with the
Guess I'm not gonna
football.
be
I
able
was supposed to go
For
and watch
holi-
the Wales in the Euros,
Oh,
That's
nice.
dedication.
and
If-
Azerbaijan as well.
Oh,
But then
yeah.
I got scared because I booked it at the time of the Iran conflict heightening, and we had to fly over Iran, and I was flying on a Ukrainian airline, a budget Ukrainian airline.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
no. Isn't there like a Ukrainian airline that's like sort of notorious for getting like shot down or like?
Yeah, there's one got
disappearing?
shot down above Iran, and that was
Oh,
like the
God.
same company that we were using to
That's
go
not
to
ideal.
Azerbaijan. So I was sort of happy
Yeah,
it
I
got
think-
cancelled in the end.
It's really freaky because there's a whole thing about like, because obviously, well, I don't want to start, but like, I don't know, there's like maybe stuff going on between Russia and Iran, and you know, if Iran shoots a Ukrainian plane down, it's actually like Russia shooting one down.
Yeah.
I don't want the KGB to start knocking on my door, but it's just what I say.
Politics.
I
is
am the
just
KGB.
fucked,
Politics, man.
basically.
Yeah, it's probably best you cut that bit
Oh.
out, James. To be honest.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking bad,
Or they
man.
will find me.
Yeah, they will.
The
Yeah.
man, do you know what? One of the things that's been getting me through this is just thinking about when the lockdown is fully lifted and everyone's back to normal, whenever that is. It's just going like out of England, you know, just like roaming free.
Yeah,
I
that
want to go
sounds
on a
good.
real culture.
Without
Culture
being in
fest,
fear
full
of
on.
catching it as well. It's not just having
Yeah,
that
exactly.
that thing lifted, like
Not-
being able to actually
Yeah.
legally do it. It's also feeling comfortable doing it yourself.
Time,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's like time to will have to pass after that.
And loads of people, especially older people, will still be very cautious being near people. There'll be an
Oh,
air of
definitely.
like avoidance, and
Definitely.
you know, I think that will last quite a while, longer than the lockdown
agree.
ending.
Way longer years, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Things
Oh
won't
well,
be the same.
I don't care about them old fogies. Stay out of my way. Stinky old grannies, I don't need you.
Stinky poo.
You know what I'm saying?
Stinky old granny.
Oh god.
Just joking. Old people are really important.
Oh no.
So why is
I
my
think I've said
so
oh
much
no like
shit?
3 times already. Just because of something that someone said.
Oh no.
Oh.
Very
no.
stupid. So anyway, I was just gonna segue this into music. Dav, you have been doing this film music stuff, and can I just say, is Dav alive?
Yes.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, video's frozen.
No, it's not. I was just
No,
frozen.
he just didn't move.
No, his video's definitely frozen for me. He's like, "Ooh."
Oh, right.
Well, anyway, Dav, that vid you did. It's
Oh, which
freaking
one?
sick, dude. The one was it
Oh,
Westworld?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
really
the one.
cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really
Spitfire
good.
competition. It was awesome.
God, I spent so much time doing that.
Yeah.
I
How long
basically
did it
didn't
take you?
sleep for
'Cause
ages.
I listened to, I don't know if it was the first draft of yours or something, or before you finished
Yeah,
it, and it was like without the electronic sounds, and I was thinking, he's missing something here, he could definitely
Yeah.
have some of that, but then he added the synth.
Well,
and-
I redid the whole thing and I created new sounds because it's something I've been like practicing, like making new synth sounds and stuff like that, patching
Sick.
my own
Yeah,
stuff.
nice.
Cause it's more creative, I think, really. In the
Yeah,
end.
I agree. There's a whole thing about whether you're using, and like obviously my rule of thumb is if you know how to make the preset, you can use the preset. You know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
you know what you want to use it for as well, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
And I made this like synth that is on exactly that point. I made like a synth that when there's scenes that are like bird's eye view scenes, I made a
Yeah.
synth that slides up and down and makes you feel like on edge.
Yeah. Cool.
So I
cool.
knew that I wanted to use it in that part of the film.
Yeah.
So then it
Well,
just
that's
came
the other
back.
thing. That's the other thing about why I think it's so important, like you're saying, to patch your own synth sounds, because then it's literally that thing. If you can realize the very thing you have in your brain, you know, that the like sound you have in your head, where a preset will come close to it. If you know how to your way around a synth, you can just totally realize that, and I think it just takes your tracks and your
Yeah.
underscores into like another dimension.
It's like playing an
Um,
instrument, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Just got to know it inside out.
Yeah.
I'd never had the courage to actually like patch a synth from scratch. Like I normally just take a
I do-
preset and then just like edit it
Yeah.
in, like into something that's similar that I want it to sound like.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty straightforward though. But
But it's
But
still
no,
that's
to
still
be
the
honest,
same
that's-
sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a lot better than just using a preset. I'm not like doing anything
Yeah.
to it, you know.
'cause that's just becomes unoriginal after a while.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, you know, I guess some would say that there's no harm in it, but it's just like if you're doing it every time, that doesn't really make sense. It's like, I don't know.
I will say though that sometimes that does work. You just pick a preset, random preset, and it makes the whole track.
Well, that's the thing. To be fair, if you maybe like as inspiration, especially if you like pick a random preset and then build an original track around that, you know, that's that could be pretty.
Yeah.
So I guess sometimes people have put a lot of thought into presets. Some of them.
That's another thing.
The
Yeah.
people that made them to make them sound really sort
that's
of
true.
well balanced. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Not that I know, but
That's true. No. Yeah, it's true. Dav, could you talk a little bit just like how you started on, starting on scoring that little clip?
Yeah.
You don't have to go into too much detail. Just like, well, you mentioned that you started with like not electronic sounds.
Well, I do this whenever I mean, I don't get the opportunity much because it's really hard to find videos of that quality without music already scored to it.
Yeah,
and I can't be asked with that, taking the music out and then you have to put all the sound effects back in. That's too much of a pain.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I do this sort of thing, I sort of watch the whole thing through with no music at all, out completely outside of the music program, so I can get a sound in my head of what would sound good.
Yeah.
And then so by the time that you've done that, maybe watch it a few times. By the time you've done that, you already have like an outline of what's happening in the whole scene.
Yeah.
And then I'll put it into my program, and I'll make a marker track. Find a tempo that I like, that suits a big chunk of it, because you want it to drive. Depends what the scene is. And then I'll put a tempo track in and map that out depending on what I'm writing, and put a marker track, sort of like pointing out the main cutscenes and the main sort of things that you want to depict on
like
screen.
Hit points and
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe just like it'll say be like marker 1, brass horns swell for 4 beats or something.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll do that, and then the rest of it really just comes to your like what you can hear, and sometimes experimenting with sounds.
Mm-hmm.
As I always start with an orchestra, because that's just like a palette of sound that's really easy on your fingers.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and then sometimes I just it's about orchestration really. On that one that I did, a lot of the parts are just doubled with different instruments nicely. Like the percussion on it in particular took me quite a long while to write the original rhythm and make it sound good, but it sounds so big because it's layered with other instruments. Yeah.
Do you know, it's funny how I've seen so many people who really disregard the importance of orchestration and just will go straight in with writing, the material, trying to make the material great, which is all fine and dandy, but what takes you to the next level is being able to orchestrate it well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you've
Definitely.
just written like a song.
And in my opinion, the best composers know how the orchestra works completely, and
inside out.
What things sound well together.
Absolutely. Because again, like kind of what we were saying before, the orchestra becomes like another instrument as a whole thing. With like lots of different.
Yeah, like the orchestra is the composer's instrument, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, in a way.
It depends on what you're composing for, I guess. But
yeah, exactly. But
for big things like that, like scenes like that you're composing for.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely a sort of foundation.
Yeah, it was hard to look at that because I know for a fact that loads of people's entries for this competition are gonna be Hans Zimmer, the Dark Knight style.
Yeah.
Which was, and it was really hard to stay away from.
Yeah, for me that would be like the first thing to occur to me, like trying to hear it in my head. It would just be that sort of like epic. Yeah,
because that scene is so similar to the Batman chase scene from the Dark Knight.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And when I did listen to it, when I did watch the video first, I was like, da 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 da. That's all I could hear.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to sort of like freshen your mind off and.
Yeah, that's something that I really have found difficult up until recently. Like, I did a little thing. It wasn't even to film, but like, I was in a class where they got us to like read 2 characters from, you know, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah,
that film?
yeah.
And so we like would read each part and then score that. And for so long, like, you know, it's so tempting to want to just put lush strings and like big rousing horns, because yeah, it sounds great, but you know, yeah, it's kind of more exciting to take a bit of a risk, you know, and do something that's kind of not been heard before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, man. Just breaking out of that, like, because it sounds sick. There's no denying it. You know,
Yeah,
it's not
it
a case
sounds
that
awesome.
It's not that it sounds boring.
And sometimes there's
great.
a place for it as well. Like sometimes
Yeah.
that's exactly what something needs. But you know, because the best film composers, really, in terms of musical skill and using the orchestra, were the composers of the 50s and 60s. In a way.
Yeah.
If you look at like people like Bernard Herrmann, like his
Legendary,
his musicals, like compositional skill was like insane.
Yeah.
But then if you look at oh shit, phone's going. But if you
Woo!
Wow.
Blues, yeah.
I wrote that for the phone company.
Really?
Yeah. They paid me 10 million.
10 trillion.
Sounds like you,
It's
Dad.
just like,
Hang on.
what's that band? What's the band who did the
I
Nokia?
can bet you 10 million
Dirty
pounds
Loops.
that was my gran.
Dirty Loops, yeah.
I did the Samsung
What's the
thing.
song?
Over the
Grand.
horizon.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Speaking
That's
of
actually quite sick though. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Speaking
know.
of
Guilty pleasure.
making sort of music, some one of my mates has asked me to write music for his uni podcast.
Yeah.
Wow. Can you do it for us?
No.
You dickhead. I was gonna say, can we put your videos on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Can we put that in the description or something?
Yeah, sure. That'd be nice actually. I need loads of people to see it so I can win
Yeah.
£20,000.
So I can win.
Yeah. Let's get Dav to
Wouldn't
win,
you get like
guys.
all of
Everyone
the
go and watch
audio
this
samples
video.
as well? or
Yeah,
something?
all of them.
That is ridiculous.
Which
They're
is
worth
so
like
cool.
20
thousands
grand.
of
That's
pounds.
how much they're worth.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
insane.
So you wouldn't be actually winning like
Mad.
20 grand cash.
No.
You'd just be winning the samples.
To be
but
fair,
that's
that's-
still like
I think if I did have 20 grand cash,
you'd spend it on stupid
I'd spend
shit.
it on that anyway.
Oh
So-
right. I thought you were gonna say
Ha-
you'd spend it on other
Well, I
stuff. that you just don't
would.
need.
You know what I would spend
I
it on.
probably would.
But
What
Have you
gear?
been
or-
able to see?
Not that kind of gear. I mean studio gear.
no, beer and you know,
Just
You
fun.
know, fun things, fun times.
fun.
Spend it on fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's cool. I need to.
Yeah.
I've started to look into that more, like looking at like samples and like I don't know, shit like that. Spitfire
You-
stuff. I've been
Yeah.
looking at.
I know you could easily do it, so
I just need to know how.
you just need to
I
do
think.
it.
And I need to find the right things to do it for. Like it's really, I found it really
Mm.
hard to find like videos to score.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Yeah,
do
it's-
that anymore. It's too
I've
hard.
sort of given
like,
up. Like
I
it's
just
hard
I
to
just
find
write
things.
a random piece that's like should
Sounds
fit or
cinematic,
something.
yeah.
Like last night, my Instagram story. I don't know if
I
you
have-
saw.
What the Danny Elfman thing?
Yeah, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. I literally wrote 8
Oh,
bars of that and then just left it, and I'll never touch it again.
I've just done that literally just
Yeah.
before this podcast.
It's you know,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. It's better doing small things and practicing it a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
You get better than
Yeah,
just
exactly.
writing one big
Because
stupid
you learn
track
about
that
texture,
goes-
you learn about what works texturally so much just from doing those little things.
Yeah,
I feel, definitely.
Yeah, it's true.
you know.
You know?
Yeah, it's exciting stuff. I watched. I know we're going on a big old film thing, but I watched It's Darkest Hour yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
good
it was on
film.
BBC, wasn't
'cause
it?
of the day and all that. Yeah. I enjoyed that. It was good. I didn't. I've never heard of the composer before because it was. It was cool. Like it was a cool score, but it wasn't like groundbreaking.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
good. You know. it was
Usual
go-
company. Who was the
I
composer?
think he was cool. Darian Marianelli.
Dario
Dario
Marianelli.
Marianelli.
He's like
yeah.
my favourite
Yeah.
film composer actually.
Oh,
Right
shit.
now, well, no, it's fine because he normally does like period stuff that I watch. Like
Well,
he
that's the
did
thing.
the
Yeah,
score for
like
Pride and Prejudice,
and stuff.
and that
Yeah,
just
yeah,
is
yeah.
the creamiest score I've ever heard in my life.
He actually teaches
That's the
on
thing.
a film scoring course in
Oh, really?
Oxford.
Oh, really?
Not the uni,
Really?
not Oxford
Yeah.
Uni. It's near Oxford.
In the city.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I think I haven't really paid attention that much to the score for The Darkest Hour, but he's done other stuff. Like he did Jane Eyre as well, and that's beautiful. Like he's really good at composing like beautiful pieces for beautiful films, like beautiful
Yeah.
cinematography, you know, and not sort of like dark and
Yeah.
dingy stuff like The Darkest Hour, I guess.
That's the
It's
thing.
probably not
That's the
used to
thing. I
that,
think
but
it's funny. It's funny how you, as you were just saying, talking about like, you know, like what videos to score and stuff. And I find how important it is to really kind of click with the thing that you're writing to. And obviously, it's different. If you're writing to no video at all, then you can make, you know, you can make the video in your head kind of thing or whatever, or the scene in your head. But for my Guildhall audition, I did like a tiny little. It was really shit, but I did this little score to like a thing from Wall-E, which sounds really dumb.
oh, that's
of
such a
all
nice
the, like,
film though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Of all the clips that were out there, that was like genuinely the one that I just like connected to the most, and it's so important in that way. So I don't know. I'm not speaking for Darian Marianelli, but his, I know. I don't know. I know him pretty well. So we're in
I mean, the
good
score
contact,
for Wall-E
but,
itself is actually really nice. It's Thomas
Yeah.
Newman, who
Yeah,
did like
exactly.
Nemo and
Yeah,
stuff.
good old.
I love
Tommy
his stuff.
Newman.
It's really cool.
He's great.
It's quite
He's
different
really
as well,
cool.
but it works for
Yeah.
those kind of films. But
Very modal.
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But
Yeah.
I
I don't
find that
wanna
really
start talking
satisfying
about
to
things
listen
like
to. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
that's not really interesting,
No,
is
okay.
it?
Yeah.
For,
Sent me a message asking me about all the modes. He said, "Do I do one-to-ones?"
on modes.
What do you do one?
Yeah, he said, "Do I do one-to-ones so I could teach him modes or something?" I was like, "What?"
Why did you do it?
Well, I just thought I'm not. I
bit
didn't really know
formal,
what he
isn't
was
it?
saying. I was like, "Is he going to pay me or what?"
Well, yeah, that sounds like.
I know, but
Probably
I don't know. I didn't really have anything to say. I just said, "He said, what is melodic minor mode?" And I was like, "Oh, it's just this." He was like, "Ah, cheers, thanks." And then I told him a few more things. And he said, "Thanks so much. What's your rate?" I was like, "What?"
Oh right, so obviously he's.
Oh yeah, so yeah, he'll pay.
I don't know. I just found it weird. Like there were better people to ask, but anyway, that
Beat
happened.
yourself down, man.
That happened. He's a very nice guy. I'll give him
He's
that.
lovely, yeah.
And he's got initiative. I'll tell him that. He's got the drive. Can't think of many.
Oh yeah, speaking of lessons,
yeah.
if anyone wants any Ableton lessons, you can hit me up on my Instagram.
Little plug.
Oh, do you do mixing lessons?
Yeah, mate.
Can you do some
Hit me
mixing?
up.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Teach me some mixing.
Yeah,
I
and
actually
then-
need to learn how to
GB
mix
Smith.
up. No fucking clue how to do it, where to
Hey.
start.
Look,
Oh.
It's weird. I can
I'm no
master,
guru,
but I can't
know some
mix.
stuff.
I can.
Oh wow.
I-
Well, to be honest, I found mastering way harder than mixing. So you're ahead of the curve there, bro.
yeah,
I haven't
I
even
think I
tried
might just be.
mastering.
I think my headphones are just fucked, so my mixing shit.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Well, the other thing is like the importance of having monitors as well.
Yeah.
Although my monitors are way too big. Anyway, that's
What
another
monitors do you have, James?
I've got some Adam T7Vs, T4Vs, T7V. I don't know what they're
Sounds
called. They're
good.
really big and stupid. Yeah.
Really big and stupid. Maxes
Yeah,
are
they're big
fucking
and
massive.
stupid,
Have you
but they
seen
sound
Max's
nice.
monitors?
Yeah.
They're
They're
huge.
ridiculous.
They're so big. I don't know how he moves them about, but he's got a nice setup.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
his thing.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's another plug. Donkey plug. And should we do the albums?
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Donkey.
Well, I'm sure that all of you three have heard of Shaun Martin,
Yeah.
the keyboard player. His
He's
album
good.
Seven Summers is beautiful.
Is that
Very
the
nice
one with
listen.
the track
The Yellow Jacket?
dwee dee dwee dwee dee
Yeah,
dee
that
dee?
one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would be. It's a bit basic, but that'll be my favourite track from the album. Is
No,
the
It's
Yellow
nice,
Jacket.
you know?
It's nice.
It's
Yeah,
lovely.
it's
It's just a really nice listen.
So
But there's a
sweet,
lot of
yeah.
influences particularly from what I'm pretty sure is like African influences on a lot of the tracks that he puts on that album. I think there's one dedicated to Nelson Mandela, I think.
Oh.
I'm not entirely sure. I think there is anyway. But yeah, it's a really nice listen. There's a good array of things on there. So
Nice.
I'd recommend that one.
I'll check it out.
Good
Yeah,
old
you should
Shaun
check
Martin.
it out.
Snarky puppy.
Check it out. Yeah.
Check it out. Check it out.
Shoot.
Shit.
Did you guys go through a quick sidetrack? Did you guys go through a snarky puppy phase?
Yeah,
I didn't.
definitely.
I don't know if I went through a
Okay.
phase. I mean, I really liked the ones that first came up on YouTube years ago. What was it like?
Yeah.
What was it called? Shofakan or something?
Yeah, We Like It Here.
Yeah.
I really
That
liked
was,
that
Like
one.
It Here, that was a good album. And Silver.
That was
the
what-
one with the
what about
Metropolitan
me?
Orchestra I thought was banging.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
was
sick.
was it?
That's really
The
cool.
videos on YouTube's. YouTube's.
YouTube.
You know, family dinner when they got Noah on and they did that song. I remember.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That one was
I
really
remember.
good.
No, I the one that really like the one
Yeah.
that took my attention to Snarky Puppy was the one where Cory Henry did that massive solo on.
Yeah,
Lingus.
Lingus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
I
fame.
transcribed that solo.
Yeah.
Really?
Did you?
Yeah, I could play it.
I'll tell you
but I
what,
haven't played it
actually.
for ages,
I'll
so
tell
I
you
don't
what.
know.
This is something awful. I told Tim about this ages ago. I did this like someone asked me to play horns in this Snarky Puppy thing for their final recital at LCCM. So I turned up and we were playing, and we played this Lingus thing. We got to the part where
Yeah.
the sax solo comes up, and the guy next to me
Yeah, I know.
took the solo, and he was improvising, and it was good. And then comes up to the keyboard solo, and the keyboard player starts playing the whole Cory Henry solo,
The exact solo.
the exact thing with all the
Oh,
bends and
no.
everything, and he
I've
patched
seen
the
quite a few
exact
videos of
synth
people
sound,
doing
and I sort of put my head in my hand and was like, I hate this. I really
Yeah,
hate
What did everyone
this.
I
think,
I
Dan?
heard-
What?
In the
They're
room.
like, woo!
What did everyone think? Like all the other players.
I think other people. I think right. I'm not sure.
If anyone didn't know it, they wouldn't have known.
But I think
That's the
in the,
thing.
when
How
we
would
did
you
the
not
when we
know?
did the performance, people in the audience didn't know that he wasn't improvising.
Oh,
They
Oh,
thought
that's
he was
so
improvising.
annoying.
I mean, that's like me doing a jazz gig and playing a whole Coltrane solo.
It's
yeah,
just
I've
really
seen similar
weird.
things.
But I mean, you know, it's gone now. But it did annoy me.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't see the point in that.
Don't do
Yeah.
it, boys and girls. Don't do it.
It's weird.
Was his technique good though? Was he playing it well?
Yeah. I don't care though.
That's
Yeah,
something.
it's
Yeah,
just
no,
really
I know.
weird.
I totally agree.
I
It's
don't know where I
just, you
stand
know.
on that sometimes.
I mean, it is a
I think I
massive
know.
part of that part of the track, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's a
but-
way to make it as epic as it already is, without transcribing.
Yeah,
the
well,
solo
Cory
and
Henry does it
playing
every
it
time
exactly.
Have you seen all the different versions of Cory Henry do it? Like every time he does something
Yes,
different,
and it's
and
different.
he reaches
Yeah.
a climax.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the point.
That's
But
great.
he is a fucking genius, to be fair.
he
He's
is
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, he's
Ridiculous.
amazing. He's been playing
He's
since he was 3.
So naturally talented. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that video of him playing in his church when he's like 3 years old. It's
Yeah.
mental.
Oh,
Crazy
good.
stuff.
The Lingus solo on the original, I don't actually like as much as this other
No.
one. There's this random one that someone filmed on their phone, and Cory Henry was just like
Yeah, I think
really drunk or something. But
I
he does the
I know
best
the one you mean.
solo.
Yeah.
He keeps
Is it
coming
the
up
one
with
where
this
they're in
amazing
like
stuff.
a bar?
What?
They're all like really crammed in. Is it the one where they're all really crammed in?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
smallish room? Yeah.
And then Cory, when it ends, you know, they do get the
Yeah.
end. It ends, and then Cory, instead of ending, he just does a massive keyboard solo on his own, and then
Oh
he
my God, it's
brings
like
them all back
Whiplash.
in, and he nods them, and they all just do it again, like the whole
That's
ending.
sick. That's quite cool, actually.
That's good. Let's go
Uh,
next with that album.
I'll go next if you want.
Yeah,
So I got two albums I've been listening to quite a lot the past week actually. One of them is Pink Moon by Nick Drake. I know
Oh, I love
you
that
probably know that
album.
one.
Yeah,
I-
Man.
I think it's probably in my top 3 albums ever, to be honest.
Wow,
It
that's
is
cool.
amazing. It's totally perfect. Every song is really well written. His voice is amazing. The guitar playing is brilliant. It's emotional as well, considering what he's going through at the time.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Sick.
No, seriously though, he's going through some shit, man.
Yeah. I saw you listening to Riverman the other day on Spotify.
Oh,
you know.
that. To be fair, that's from a different
That's
album,
amazing.
but that is also perfect.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
it is. Yeah, that's from 5 Leaves Left, I think. It's crazy though how he wasn't known at all at the time, and he got really depressed. But now loads of people know who he is. You know.
Is he still alive?
No, he died at 24 of overdose or something.
Oh shit! Didn't even know that.
Yeah, well, a big part of his depression was that he just wasn't recognised. But it's funny because now that he's recognised, all 3 of his albums, only 3, have been considered like masterworks. I haven't found like a bad review of any of them.
Damn.
So that's pretty crazy. Anyway, that's one album. And then I've also been listening to Straight No Chaser by Thelonious Monk.
Oh,
Which is actually pretty good.
it's so good.
I was listening to it, and I when I first heard it, I listened to Thelonious Monk because I don't really listen to him that much. Because he's got quite a sort of wacky technique on the piano, like
Yeah, a little bit.
not really
crazy.
classically trained at all. He's just like
Well,
with
it's
his
no
fingers
surprise with
in
the stuff that
total
he
weird
composes
positions.
Yeah, but his
anyway, like, you
technique
wouldn't
was
expect
actually
it.
really good.
That's the thing. He actually he transcribed a lot like Art Tatum, and he plays that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But it's funny how, and he sort of comps in a really weird way, and I don't know. I actually really like it the way it's
His
definitely not
comping is
normal.
awesome in my opinion. Anyway,
It's not boring. It's really interesting, and he's really like methodical and.
Everything about his music is sort of different in a way that's not too out there, but
No,
is
yeah.
more exciting to
Yeah.
listen to.
It just makes me laugh sometimes because I just think, wow, I would never thought of doing that. The way he plays the
Yeah.
piano.
he just didn't give a shit, did he?
Yeah, because
He really didn't.
Yeah.
care.
it's like do you know when you're playing and you feel like you're just in a rut and you just keep playing the same, like, I don't know, comping for piano or
Yeah.
same shit. But he just keeps doing new things every time. It's amazing.
So creative.
Don't know how these people do it. Anyway, that was good. Straight No Chaser by Thelonious Monk. I recommend it. Oh, the actual track. The first track, Locomotive, is nice, and then
Yeah.
Straight No Chaser. That
It's
was
got
good.
Train on it, hasn't it?
I think so, actually, yeah. I should have checked that, I don't know. I was wondering
Yeah,
who was
that's
freaking sick on the sax.
Yeah. Good old Trainee.
Freaking
Also,
sick.
Coltrane Sound I've been listening to. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Just check that out.
Well, who's next?
Satellite on Coltrane Sound is amazing.
Yes. I've been listening to some more ambient stuff.
What?
It's I don't know where it's from or what it is, but it's called Snufmumriko. Sekunder eoner,
Right.
and it's really really nice.
Back to business. What's the album? Snuff.
Listeners, I'm gonna let you guess what just happened on the video.
No, I'm
Well,
not.
Put your
I'm
guesses
not-
in the
not going to
comments.
let you guess what just happened on the video.
Put your
Yeah,
guesses
put the
in the
guesses
comments.
in the comments.
Oh no, I couldn't see. I don't even know. I'm just
Don't worry,
as
James. You get an
blind as
idea.
you guys.
Yeah, it's called. It's
not
called.
There's not many things one can do on a webcam.
It's called Sekunder eoner by Snufmumriko.
That sounds really weird, but
I know, but it's really ambient, sort of, just like soundscapey stuff. It's really cool.
Right.
Nice.
Awesome.
Cool.
What's it called? Sorry, how do you spell it?
Sekunder,
Oh.
and then eoner.
Ah, okay, found it. Oh, I like the album cover.
Yeah, it's nice. It's good.
It looks like.
It's like I've been because I haven't been able to sleep much recently. Whoa. And
Whoa.
I've been listening to loads of ambient music to get me in the mood of sleeping. So
It does help.
yeah, it does.
It definitely helps.
And that definitely does. It's really nice. It's really icy.
There's actually a playlist that I listen to a lot when I try and sleep, and it's called Coffee Table Jazz on Spotify.
Is it like
And
ballad
it's all
stuff?
just like jazz ballads, like instrumentalist
Nice.
jazz ballads. And it's actually really nice, and it just sends me to sleep
Yeah.
sometimes, because it can get really fucking boring after a while, to be honest.
They're quite
But
well curated.
that's sort of the
those.
point, isn't it? There's some nice things on there though. But yeah, that's cool. Ambient stuff works for me as well. James?
Yeah, well, I've been listening to this album that Tom put me onto, Tom Potter, called The Ego Trap, and it's by Scary Goldings, which is a like collaboration between
Larry Goldings,
Scary
isn't it?
Pockets and Larry Goldings.
Oh, right.
That album
So
is
sick.
amazing.
It's insane, like so good. It's just so groovy, like it's so groovy, and the tracks are sick, and man, it just like shows different types of grooves, and like Chill Bill is a really good one that's like quite a slow groove, and then there's a one called that actually that might be from another album, but another tune by them is called that an 80s TV theme tune, and that's just kind of like quite up tempo but really groovy, and you just gotta check it out.
What's
it's
the
just
album called?
So well played. It's called The Ego Trap.
Okay.
By Scary Goldings, and they have a couple of videos on YouTube of them like recording either that album or the album before, and it's totally worth checking out. It's just some really solid groovy stuff played by some killing dudes.
Awesome.
So
Man,
yeah,
check it out.
that's been the vibe. Just listen to some funkiness.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, man.
Nice one, dude.
Nice dude.
Awesome.
Well, hey, you know what? Boris has said his stuff. I don't know what he said, but he said it 18 minutes ago. I can smell my tea. Should we call it a day?
Circuit a day.
Yeah.
Oh, by the
I
way,
can
it's
smell the
another
sausages.
really good album, by the way. The organ music of
Yes,
Herbert
yes,
Howells.
Oh,
Check it out, Volume 1.
Nice. Did you say Herbert Howells?
Yeah, Stephen Cleobury plays the organ at King's College, Cambridge, playing the organ music of Herbert Howells, Volume 1.
Alright.
Yeah, yeah.
It's amazing.
yeah.
Alright. He's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh wow, that took a turn.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram. What's our Instagram, Tim?
It's From the Top Podcast at Instagram.net.
Anyone?
One of those three, anyway.
From _the_top_ podcast for Instagram. You can like our Facebook page. That'd be great, and you can message us, and we'll all
Subscribe,
reply,
like, share, comment.
subscribe,
you know
like,
how
do
it
all that
is.
fun stuff.
Oh.
And we'll see you for the next episode of From the Top Podcast. Bye, dudes.
See ya.
Bye guys.
I did.
Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, see you later.
See ya.